Hello and welcome. In today's video, we're going to be building an AMD system. The motherboard of choice is the Asus ROG Strix B450F gaming motherboard with a AMD Ryzen 7 2700X CPU. That will be cooled down with the NZXT Kraken X52 here. The RAM that will be going into the system today is the 16 gig memory kit by Asus. This is the 4-stick kit with the 2 blanking sticks with RGB for those RGB lovers out there. And for storage, we'll be going with the Western Digital Black SN750, 500 gigabytes for super fast access. The GPU of choice is the NVIDIA GTX 1070 Founders Edition here. All of that will be assembled into this NZXT H150 Elite premium case with the 550 watt Superflower power supply to power it. Right, let's get into it. Okay, let's get started. First, we'll insert the CPU, making sure that the golden triangle lines up with this corner of the socket. We should just drop straight in, like so. And we can secure it. Next, let's put in the real memory. When you have these kind of kits, you can see that there's all the pins on the RAM itself. So we'll go into slots A2 and B2. Next, we'll put in the dummy DIMMs. The RGB along the top. There's no pins on here, as you can see. So we'll put these into the slots A1 and B1. Okay, making sure everything's secure. Next, we'll put in the 500 GB NVMe. It is normal for the NVMe stick to be raised. You have to hold it down in order to screw in. Okay, next, let's look to mount the water cooler. Or the all-in-one cooler. So this is the Intel bracket. I need to switch that to the AMD bracket. Let's do that first. Twist off like that. Okay. So we can attach this. And a screw. Directly onto the CPU socket, like so. screw. Now we're ready to mount into the case. In the interest of time, I've decided to fast forward the video so that we can get through it a lot quicker. Otherwise the video will end up being more than an hour. So to start with, we undo the case and take out the front facing fan. Next we mount the motherboard. Securing it with the screws. Tightening up all the screws to make sure that the board is secure. Next, we will remove the fans from the front panel in order to mount the radiator. Fast forwarding a little, the radiator has been mounted and tightened back to the front where the front facing fans are mounted. Next comes the power supply, starting into place and securing with the 4 screws on the back. Next we bring down the USB connector, connect up the 24 pin ATX connector. Next, sort out some of the mess behind and start organizing the cables. Next we can connect up the PWM fans and the RGB lighting on the fans to the controller. Now start to tidy up the cabling behind and figure out the cable runs. It's a good idea to start cable tying some of the cables down as early as possible in order to get some control with the cable management.
Next, try and cable manage the 24-pin cable, which is a thick one, and follow the path built within the case. This one actually has Velcro straps, which I will use to hold it in place. Next comes the USB 3 connector, followed by the USB 2 connectors at the bottom there, and the front panel connectors. Next, we look to mount the graphics card. This casing has the capability of mounting vertically, or as you can see how I'm mounting it now. The issue is the riser cable is not included, so if you are looking to mount vertically, then that would have to be purchased separately. Next, we bring in the power for the GPU. This particular card makes use of all 8 connectors, so just line them up and ensure that they slot in the right direction. Next, we will connect up the power for the NZXT controller, which controls the fans as well as the addressable RGB. Now hook up the power for the all-in-one water pump. A little bit of tidying up the cables there to make sure that they're not crossing each other. Makes the cable runs look a lot tidier. Some more cable ties, holding everything in place. Now I'm tidying up the SATA power underneath the PSU shroud and connecting up the NZXT controller to it. Now the AIO pumps power, and because I connected the PWM fans to the NZXT controller, the AIO cables are not used, so just strap them in there. Tidying up the main vertical run of cables and tying it all together. Next, we're going to hook up monitor, mouse, keyboard, and power, and see whether we can get it to post. Power on, looking good. Success. Our first post. Now time to power down and close her up. Back panel secured.
After completing the build and installing Windows, I realized that the memory that we used was RGB Fusion compatible, which means that I would have had to install a third-party piece of software just to control the memory, which is not ideal. So what I have done in the meantime, I've actually ordered the correct memory that supports Aura Sync. For those that haven't dealt with RGB before, this is a learning curve. While waiting for this to arrive, I also came across a better graphics card for the build, which matches the theme, an Asus ROG Strix RX 580. This is the overclock edition with 8 gigs of RAM.
Thank you for watching. This completes the NZXT Asus build. If you like what you see here, please remember to like and subscribe, and see you again in future builds.